On the floor for the visiting...
backcourts in this one, Stan. Cream of the crop.
Well, a lot of people would say that this is a guard-oriented league. I think it's a league of all the positions, but tonight, certainly, whoever can win that guard battle will probably go home with the W.
Certainly the headliner tonight. Now a look at Detroit's starting lineup. We've got Paul George, and it's Leonard in at the 2 spot. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Rebound by the Bulls.
Almost too wide open there. That's like a warm-up jumper for him.
Pass to Pippen. Here's Chamberlain. Shoots over George. Chamberlain gets the bucket.
And setting the tempo with an assertive move. Like, where was the defense on that play?
Well, when you are the aggressor this early, it is intimidating.
Now here's Leonard. Let's go with a 3. Chamberlain pulls it in.
Well, that's what the defense has to do. Make that shot as uncomfortable for him as possible.
Outside Wembanyama. James outside. Pass to Durant. And blocked with his palm. What a defensive play. Now here's George. Here's Artest. George scanning the floor. Screen by O'Neal. From deep. George, and that's good.
And you see the creativity George has. Just comfortable operating in screen and rolls and taking what he sees.
Well, Coach, it's been discussed a lot, but the Detroit Pistons set a record in 2023 that no one wants to match.
Well, that's for sure, B.A. No franchise wants to suffer through a 28-game losing streak. They thought that team had potential, but they just never found their footing early on, and then things just snowballed on them.
And the foul called on Victor Wembanyama. That's his first foul of the game.
First team foul.
Chicago on D. Abdul-Jabbar passes to George. 2 shots, 2 makes. Off to a good start.
And that's the versatility of George. He does it from long range, mid-range, and at the rim.
And we'll have a timeout called by Billy Donovan. He wants to review the game plan. You know, Stan, for a team with such a proud history, the last decade has been a tough one for the Bulls.
Yeah, Brian, it really has. They've had competitive teams, but they haven't won a full playoff series since 2014. And for such a dedicated and passionate fan base, that's been really difficult for them, let alone the front office and people that want to turn this thing around as quickly as they can.
Here's Artest. Outside O'Neal. And in the first quarter, about 3 minutes played. Oh, nice finish from the low block. That was good.
Oh, man, he's got a great combination. Plenty of length and a soft touch from close range.
Pippen, pass to Durant. The 3 is up. The Pistons clear it.
Yeah, you know, he usually makes you pay from that range.
Pass to George. Outside O'Neal. Here's Artest, guarded by Durant. Now George. Shot clock at 5. Here's O'Neal. And a two-handed jam!
I'll tell you, he is so tough to keep down once he gets near that rim.
Yeah, he can get up even a few notches higher. He got a piece of it, and it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession. A minute 15 left in the first quarter of the game. And Durant gets it to go. And the Pistons with possession here. Here's Artest. He's scoreless. Pass to Leonard. The 3. It's hauled in by Wembanyama. Chicago trailing here. Now here's Durant. 5 points in the game. The shot by James, no good. And here's George. Driving to the basket. He's off on the layup. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. For 3, Durant. On target from range. Durant's got 8.
Proof that Durant can strike from anywhere, flexing his range with a deep 3.
George with it. He's got 5. To the paint. And that one is hammered home.
B.A., the one-hand dunk just looks so fluid.
Yeah, absolutely. Even smooth when he's powering it home like that. 1 quarter in the books, and it's been a close one. And this has been a fairly close game through the first quarter. We'll see what happens here in the second. And guys, what's your take on the Pistons so far?
You know, they've been relentless in how they attack the paint.
Well, if they're going to be that ferocious inside, this defense is in for a long night.
Here are the 5 Detroit has to start the second. We've got Kawhi Leonard, and it's O'Neal in at the 5, roaming the paint. The Pistons leading for 3. George buries it from 3. George has gotten his 3rd basket of the night.
Gets the ball and takes the shot. It's that easy for Paul George.
Here's Pippen, still without a bucket. Tipped away. Here's Artest, guarded by Durant. George against James. George left side, back to Leonard. Clock at 6. Screen by O'Neal. Leonard can't get it to go. The Bulls trail by 4. The claw attacking.
That's just terrifying coming down the lane. I mean, when Leonard is attacking with ferocity, man, the D has to foul.
All right, a look at how the hustle game has been going for the Pistons.
Well, so far they've done a great job of reading the offense and repeatedly putting themselves in the right place to interrupt the play and force turnovers.
They've also done a good job defensively so far tonight, just making it tough all around on shooters, and it shows in their block numbers.
Well, Grant, when the money's on the line, the mid-range is still a big part of the elite player's game.
You're right, B.A. And really, it comes down to touch, obviously, and size certainly helps, and then the savvy and balance to create that space.
Now James, still no points, outside Durant. The shot's good on the assist by James.
Yeah, smooth and focused. KD is so polished, so prolific.
Outside O'Neal. Pass to Artest. Shot clock at 6. Leonard on the wing. Check by James. Leonard gets the bucket.
Yeah, not sure why he faded away there. Sure looked like he had plenty of space.
The Pistons have had quite a few high lottery picks of late, Stan. However, they haven't had much success yet.
Well, Brian, you know, sometimes it takes a lot of time. Some teams will come together quicker. Some players and some teams need more time to develop. Detroit's just got to keep adding to what they have and continuing to develop the players that are already in their system.
And a great fan base in Detroit, starving for victories. The Pistons lead by 4. And we're now a little over 2.5 minutes into the second. Tipped. It's George on the wing. The Pistons need to get one up quick. Offline with a 3. And so it's James with it. He brings it up for Chicago. Pass to Wembanyama.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. 2 minutes.
Oh, and he got fouled on his way up. He'll head to the line to shoot 2.
And with the 8-foot wingspan of Wembanyama, it feels like he releases the ball halfway to the bucket.
Chicago shooting their first shots from the stripe in this game.
2 shots.
And both free throws good for Wembanyama.
Well, you have to appreciate a big man who can step up to the line and knock it down with confidence.
Outside O'Neal. Shoots from the block. Uses the glass that time. It's good. O'Neal's got 8. And in the second quarter, a little under 3.5 minutes played already. Outside Wembanyama. The 3 is up. The shot's good on the assist by James.
When Wembanyama goes up, he can be so quick. I mean, the rookie looking very assertive.
Now here's George. He's closely guarded. Leonard for 3. The offensive rebound. Oh, what a play. Just palms the block. 1:05 left in the first half. Durant for 3. Abdul-Jabbar with a rebound. Detroit has gone 1 for 3 from downtown here in the second. Outside O'Neal. 5 to shoot. Oh, rejected by Wembanyama.
With his length and energy, Wembanyama has the ability to be a game-changing defender.
Puts up a 3. The big man, Wembanyama, sinks the 3.
Easy look when the defender isn't fighting over the screen.
Yeah, it's certainly worth it to disrupt the offense. Coaches notice that extra effort.
There's 14 seconds left to play in the half. Leonard way outside. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. James passes to Durant. Over George. It's good! It's good at the buzzer! Wow!
And credit him for understanding the situation and coming through.
Yeah, really a perfect way to finish that quarter on a strong, positive note.
And the first half comes to an end. We've got a close game going here. Bulls out in front, up by 4. Well, now we have some time to check in with Allie LaForce. Allie.
I'm here with Billy Donovan, and Coach, you look at the team's execution defensively. Are you pleased with what you saw?
I thought we defended well. I think
Thanks very much, Allie. And folks, we'll be right back to start the second half of this game. And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. One of the stories here, Kevin Durant. He's getting it done today.
Through the first 2 quarters and change, his perimeter shooting continues to be spot on.
Yeah, he's been locked in tonight. Through the first 2 quarters, he's been a huge factor from outside.
Chicago leading by 4. Stan, it's hard to believe, but the Bulls have not won a playoff series since 2015.
Well, look, Brian, it's hard to win in this league. And when you're rebuilding, trying to find the mix that'll get you.
Oh! Huge slam by LeBron!
You're still dunking with ease. James is a physical specimen.
Now here's George. Pass to Artest. Back to George. Screen by O'Neal. 5 on the clock. Here's Artest. Takes the 3. Rebounded by Pippen. Durant surveying the D. James. And it's James with the jam.
And they're building up steam, getting out in front and trying not to look back.
Well, look, we've seen that no lead is safe these days. You got to keep scoring and extending that margin.
And the timeout called here by J.B. Bickerstaff. He wants to give him a breather and talk things over.
It's time for your Chicago Ball.
And here in the second half of play, we're just over a minute in. O'Neal passes to George. And now the Bulls in transition. Pass to Pippen. Now James. Here's the break. Oh, it's blocked by Wembanyama. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Wembanyama. Down low. Here's O'Neal. Blocked again! James passes to Pippen. James against George. Pass to Pippen. And Kawhi Leonard gets a whistle that time. That's his first foul of the game. Stan, you've coached some great defensive anchors in your time. Who do you view as the best in the game today?
Well, Brian, you probably have to start with Rudy Gobert, but we've got guys like Brook Lopez, Jaren Jackson, Anthony Davis, and then we've got 2 young ones coming up that could be as good as we've seen in Wemby and Chet Holmgren.
Some really tough defense inside, but Leonard won't back down. I mean, he's just scrappy. He wants to make the defense work twice as hard.
He shot 2 free throws in the game. He's made 1 and missed 1. He's off on the first.
And you know, guys, I mean, he is a solid free throw shooter. And, of course, Leonard has everything in his game.
Good on the second one. 2 minutes into the second half of play now. Chicago leading by 7. James outside. LeBron fires one down.
Slams it down with 2 hands.
Man, they're really getting aggressive now. And here's George. He'll bring it up for the Pistons. Outside O'Neal. It's going to be on LeBron James. That's his first foul.
Yeah, he tried to gain position, but couldn't quite get there.
And that shot was going nowhere thanks to that aggressive swat.
Yeah, good offense comes from great defense. This lead is only getting stronger with plays like that.
Just under 2.5 minutes into this third quarter now. Here's Leonard.
I like when Kawhi forces the issue, making the defense compromise with the foul.
Detroit shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. The first free throw is good.
At the line for the Pistons, Kawhi Leonard. 2 shots.
That one falls, so he hits both of them. Chicago leading. A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. to Durant. Pulls up on the wing. Again, the Bulls score.
Yeah, the single-minded focus of Durant on offense. It's all about getting buckets, no distractions.
George passes to O'Neal. 3 minutes gone now in the third quarter. Leonard with the ball. Guarded by Wembanyama. And an emphatic jam on the lob.
I would imagine it's nearly impossible to not get fired up after that play.
Grant, check these guys out on the bench. Their reaction says it all. They are fired up. Here's Pippen. No points yet. Back to Wembanyama. And there's the lob.
And the lead increases on a crazy offensive sequence.
Man, the dunk alone would have been incredible, let alone the fact that it came off a pinpoint pass. And J.B. Bickerstaff decides to call timeout. And we might see some changes. Coach potentially looking to adjust.
1, 2, 3.
Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. And here's George. Give him 8 points now. O'Neal passes to Leonard. Just 5 on the clock. Fires the three. And that three is knocked down by Kawhi.
In total control on that possession. Kawhi just reading the defense and taking it himself.
George against James. Pass to Pippen. James, a good look. And Chicago again with a bucket.
Gotta stay up on James or he will go right up with that shot.
Pistons trail by 8. Here's Abdul-Jabbar, covered by Wembanyama. And here's Leonard. Here's Artest, guarded by Durant. Shot from the wing. Chicago with a rebound. Chamberlain's got 4 rebounds now. And he got the whistle on the way up. So he'll be headed to the line for a pair.
Courageous play inside by Durant. Just absorbing the foul and still putting up the shot.
Chicago shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. And both free throws good for Durant.
I'm sure they don't want to send him to the line. That has to be in their scouting report.
Now here's George. Tight defense on him.
And you got to give Paul George credit for his mental toughness. There's always lots of chatter out there, but he tunes it out and just focuses on his game.
This is his first opportunity at the line this evening.
Taking 2 shots.
That's good from George. It's both from the stripe. There's 10 seconds left in the third. Durant with it. Here's Wembanyama. The shot won't fall. And so it's Chicago, finishing the quarter with an 8-point lead. Their defensive efforts have paid off, effectively shutting down the opposing offense. And don't go far. We'll be right back. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist to the game.
And he definitely deserves the award. Reading the defense like a point guard.
Well, his height gives him the ability to see the floor, and he makes a quick decision and a great pass.
With 3 quarters behind us, let's see what this 4th period holds in store. And on the floor for Detroit here in the 4th, we've got Paul George. And it's O'Neal in at the 5, down low.
Talk about a pure jumper. Leonard doesn't need a lot of space to rise up.
Wembanyama, pass to Pippen, fires, top of the key. O'Neal pulls it in. O'Neal's got his 7th rebound here tonight. Pistons trail by 6. Pass to George. Outside O'Neal. Here's Abdul-Jabbar. Screen by O'Neal. For 3, George. Chicago with a rebound. James has got his 4th rebound in this one. Here's Pippen. Ooh, and he took a hard foul on the shot. So he'll head to the line to shoot a pair.
Yeah, and you never want to let shots at the rim go uncontested.
And a look now at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for Chicago.
Well, they've really been sharing the basketball. All coaches talk about that, try to get their teams to do it. It's really great when you see it in action.
Another thing they're doing well tonight is shooting from long distance. All game long, they've been finding openings at the perimeter.
And he makes a first. That misses, so he splits the free throws. Pistons trail by 7. Pass to Abdul-Jabbar. Here's Pippen. He's covered by O'Neal, and it's out of bounds. Still Chicago's ball.
He was all over that pass. That's a cautionary tale.
Yeah, and you know they're tracking the tips and deflections because that tells you who's affecting the game.
Now James. George defending. Wembanyama, screen on George. Here's James. And the 18-footer right on the mark. James has got 10 points in just the second half.
That in-between distance is a tough one to master.
Timeout,
Not for LeBron, though.
And the timeout called here by J.B. Bickerstaff. He wants to make sure everyone is aligned, given the situation right now. All right, let's check in with Allie LaForce.
J.B. Bickerstaff had some words for his team over the break, and he was adamant that they need to tighten up their D. That lack of communication at that end has led to breakdowns, wide open shooters, and easy buckets. He sounded pretty frustrated, guys.
Good job there, Allie. Thanks. Screen by O'Neal. 6 on the shot clock. Artest. Out to Leonard. From behind the arc. And again, no good by Detroit.
That's his shot, and one I'm sure he wants back.
James passes to Pippen. Back to James. Good work defensively by Leonard.
Well, I know he can finish at the rim, but the defense did just enough to force the miss.
Pass to O'Neal. Shoots from the right block. It's good. Set up beautifully by George. George has got 3 assists in the game. Bulls leading by 7. Outside Wembanyama. James with the ball. If you're just joining us, 4th quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. Here's Wembanyama. Oh, it's Wemby!
Yeah, this is what everyone wants to see Wembanyama doing. Dominating on the inside.
Offensively, it's been a struggle for him.
Yeah, they need to string together some shots to have any kind of chance.
O'Neal passes to George. Laid it in with a nice touch off the window.
Well, he can beat you in a lot of ways. Very challenging to defend.
Now Durant. Here's Pippen. To the right side. Chamberlain passes to Wembanyama. Pippen drops in the 3. And the Bulls lead by 10.
What a smart pass from Wembanyama. Already adept at scanning the floor and finding open teammates.
To the middle. Here's O'Neal. And down it goes. Dunked it through off a beautiful setup.
Putting that pass right in his stride. Didn't have to slow up and was able to complete the play.
James, a screen on Leonard. James, left side. Shoots over George. James can't get it to go.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the look they want. It's tough working the mid-range area.
Here's Artest, guarded by Durant. Pass to O'Neal. From 12 feet, he's now 8 for 11 after that Nate shot.
Yeah, when you make your mid-range shots, you force your opponents to adjust.
Well, look, he's got the length to get that shot off regardless of how the defense plays.
And he's going for the oop here. And it was still over the rim. Offensive basket interference. And so here is Chicago. They've led by as much as 10. And an intentional foul right there.
Paul George. First personal foul. Second team foul.
.44 seconds left in the game. George with a steal.
Well, that's just great awareness. He was ready and took advantage. And we talk about the importance of protecting the rim. Right there, outstanding defense.
Wembanyama finds James. They double team Durant. Pass to Pippen. And they go to the intentional foul.
Second personal foul.
He gets the first, and that makes it a 7-point lead. So he gets them both, and it's an 8-point ball game. Now a timeout called by Detroit. There's 18 seconds left in the fourth quarter here. All right, guys, what's your take?
And time's running short. They just couldn't get over that hump.
Well, I've been in this spot more times than I'd like to admit. All you can do is tell your guys to hold their heads up and finish strong.
So Chicago takes the win. This one was a fun one to watch. They were clearly in the driver's seat down the stretch.
They really were.